if you want nice smooth edges to your strokes, that's a handy thing to do. Somebody asked what's the prompts for this week for making art every day. That's what I'm working on. Actually, it's letters, it's alphabet. We're doing the alphabet, and it is letters M through T. So hopefully you guys will be joining us as well. So I've got my shape of the flamingo, and I am gonna put the beak and the legs on a separate layer. Because they like overlap, and it just, when things like overlap, it's easier for me if they're on separate layers. So I'll just use this layer for now. This one is clipped to the shape, so I wouldn't use that one because it would only draw within that shape I've already drawn. So I'm not gonna use that one. And then let me forget how the beak looks. Flamingo in a Google search, images. Let's get one. This was the one I was looking at before. Oops. Kind of zoom in. All right, so I'll use like a white to do the beak. Kind of get that eye shape. Okay, cool. And then another trick I do a lot is using the eraser tool, because I kind of want the beak to be pointy, so I'm just gonna erase a little bit, and then I have a nice like point at the end of it, because it's really hard to like just draw something pointy. It's hard to do in Procreate, so that's what I do. All right, so I've got this beak shape, and I'm gonna just add the like darker color on top of it. So I'm gonna turn on alpha lock to do this. So I just swipe with 2 fingers to the right, like that. Oh, there we go. And you'll see like a checkerboard pattern on that layer, and that means alpha lock is turned on. So now I'm drawing on the same layer, but I can only draw within, oops, the shape that's already there. I can't draw over here. So I'm gonna undo that. So that'll be great for what I wanna do, which is just add like the black parts of the beak. Here I messed up. There's like that part is blank. I didn't actually fill that part in. There we go. Cool, so there's that part, and that's an easy way to just change the color of part of a shape. And he needs he needs like a yellow for the eye, I think. Let's try that. And then black again. It's pretty good. I don't know, this part looks a little funky. Oh, okay, so I tried to erase. See, I do that erase to get it like pointy thing, but since it's on the same layer, I just erased the beak. That's not gonna work. So I'm just gonna choose white and just paint over it. There we go. And then I can get that same pointy shape. And then I'm gonna add like a line. I don't know, not quite white all the way. I'm gonna choose my gritty tilt liner from Gouache Paintbox. Again, I was talking about how that's like my favorite one from the set. It's got like a cool texture to it. Cool. And then maybe it's got some like freckles, I don't know. Sure, why not? All right, so there's the flamingo face, or not the face, but like the beak. I'm gonna add the legs on a layer below, so it's underneath the shape. So it's right there. And I think I'm gonna I'm rethinking my color of my flamingo. It's kind of like too cool of a pink, so I wanna warm it up. So I'm gonna select that layer and just outline that, because I also have the zebra on that layer, and I only wanna edit the flamingo. So I'll select it, and then I'm gonna go to the adjustments menu, hue, saturation, brightness, and I use this a lot to edit colors. So I'm just gonna make it a little warmer by moving the hue slider to the right a little bit. So now it's not so like magenta-y kind of pink. Questions?
Question. Walter B was just asking which paper do you use?
Oh,
which I know we talked about earlier.
yeah, I talked about that earlier. It's just a matte glass screen protector. I have the one I used linked to on my FAQ of my website, bardobrush.com/FAQ. I do have some paper-like ones that I'm going to try, but I've never tried paper-like brand.
And Pascal was asking, do you have a defined color palette, or do you change it for every illustration? And how do you choose it?
I generally just kind of pick colors as I go. I showed some, if you guys were here at the beginning, you've already seen this, but when I was doing my book, planning out this book and how it was going to look, I made this kind of, I didn't finish all the letters. I didn't get to plan them all out because I'm still like up in the air about a couple of them. But I used this to kind of plan out what colors I would do for each illustration based on like what they were next to in the book, like on the spread. So that's how I kind of figured out the colors here, but not necessarily working from palettes. I don't generally start with a palette, like a predefined palette. I kind of just do whatever comes to me, like whatever I think that thing looks like in real life. I'm not very good at like pushing colors. I kind of like things to look like they do in real life, but I'm trying to work on that because I really love illustrations that kind of play with color and push them to different kind of things. So, all right, I'm back to the opaque round brush now because I wanted the legs to look kind of smooth. So I'm just gonna draw like a line. I think I need like a little nub right there of the body, like the feathery part. So I'll go back and add that. And then this one, it crosses, little, I don't know, nubby knee. All right, just kind of getting the shape. And I can add definition with like shading and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty good. I'm gonna go back to this layer, select this pink with the eyedropper. You just hold down with one finger to choose that same color. You can also recall previous colors with the history. If you're in Procreate 5 and you don't have a super small iPad, you'll have this history thing, so you can go back and grab colors you've used in the past.
Jennifer Labor said hi on Facebook.
Hi, Jennifer. I'm glad Facebook is here now. I'll have to fill you guys in on what I'm doing because you guys, I think we started that one late, so.
And Walter was just asking about the protector for the wear on your tip of your pencils.
I have never had a problem with the protectors wearing my pencil. This nib, I think they call it, tip.
Nib.
I don't know. It's probably the one that I bought it with, and I've had it since.
No, you've replaced it one time.
Maybe I've replaced it one time.
Replaced it with mine once, yeah.
Yeah, maybe one replacement in like 2 years. 2018, late 2018 was when I got this, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, a year and a half or so.
And then you should get which brush you're on question.
Yes. Okay, I was just using the opaque round brush from my Gouache Paintbox. It's a very smooth, smooth brush, great for filling in like shapes that you want smooth edges. But now I'm going to switch to, I'm gonna actually go to these brush stroke brushes I have in this set because I want to add some like brush strokey texture. And that's what I love about this Gouache Paintbox and gouache and paints in general is like the way you can see brush strokes. And I really wanted to get that I want to get that look in digital. So that's why I made these brushes. So I'm using light brush strokes. And I'm going on the same layer, and I'm gonna turn on Alpha Lock by swiping to the right with 2 fingers. And I'm using the same color as the rest of the shape. And then I'm just like kind of adding, they're a little hard to see probably on camera. And maybe I'll choose one with more pronounced brush strokes. But you can see these like very faint brush stroke lines. And I think it just like gives it that really painterly look and makes it look like way less flat and digital. So that's what those brushes are all about. In fact, let me do his head real quick. It's subtle, but it like you can tell the difference when you like zoom out. So you can see kind of a texture. I have one called Deep Edge Brush Strokes, and this makes strokes that are like more pronounced, so you can like see those edges a lot more. And it's perfect for this flamingo because they're like feathery, and so they would have all this like cool texture on them. So I'm kind of like following maybe like where the feathers would go to get like, see, really cool texture. And then I'm also gonna use a good companion to the brushstroke brushes are the gouache grain brushes. So there's 3 of them. I'm gonna use soft gouache grain. And these will add just a little bit of like grainy texture to make it look a little more painterly. And they're actually really great for shading. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna choose like a little bit like darker and just paint in some coloring. Just a little bit, just to give a little something, something. Cool. Now I want to add this like feathery light, you know, these like feathery colors. So I'm going to choose a lighter one, maybe go a little warmer too. And then I'm going to use Bristle Painter. And this is one of my favorite brushes from the sets. It does like hair and fur textures like just so well. I was really pleased with myself when I made that one. I was like, oh, that's so awesome. I'm gonna put it on a different layer, I think. So yeah, that's gonna look cool. So I'm just gonna like add just kind of some strokes just to give the illusion of like a feathery kind of texture. Not really gonna go too crazy with it. I think that looks great. I'm gonna go maybe a lighter color just to add a little more definition. Maybe a little bit lighter, even close to white.
Jennifer on Facebook said that she just bought magic paper and loves it.
Yay, I love magic paper. I'm so glad. I love seeing everybody's artwork they make with magic paper. It just looks so cool. So I'm glad you're liking that. Maybe add some down there too.
And Karen on Insta wanted to know about the cover of your pencil.
Yep, this is a decal by dbrand.com. And it's just cute. I just like it. Okay, I think for flamingo, well, actually I'm gonna add a little bit of definition here. Do you have any more questions while I'm doing that? I turn on Alpha Lock to add a bit of shading with, I'll use a soft gouache grain. And I'll get like a darker, oops, I must not have Alpha Lock turned on. There we go, now it's on. And then here, let's see, I think this leg's in front. So I'm gonna draw like a little shading there, and then I'm gonna go back in with the opaque round brush and the same color as the leg, and then I can just like erase some of that texture away, and it looks like it's only on the leg behind it. Does that make sense? Hopefully. I'm gonna do it for the foot too. So generally, oops, I gotta select that darker color again. There we go. So generally, like my workflow is like basic shapes in a solid flat color, texture, and then like line work and detail work. And that's what works for me. I'm gonna add some line work now, so that's why I said that. So I'm going to use the Gritty Tilt liner again. It's one of my faves, and I'm just gonna like, I don't know, make it look like a foot, kind of, just to kind of give it some separation there. I don't need a ton of line work on this one. I think like I'll probably just leave that pretty flat because I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, there's a cute little flamingo, pretty cartoony, but it has some nice realism with these like feathery texture. I'm just gonna, his head looks kind of big. Just gonna make it smaller. And for the eraser brush for this set, my favorite one to use is the opaque round brush again, because it's opaque, so it makes a really good eraser. All right, so there's that flamingo. It probably looks a little more realistic than my zebra, but that's okay. All Okay, I'm gonna turn my sketch back on so I can move on to the next animal, which is the zebra. The brush I used for the feathers was Bristle Painter from Gouache Paintbox. It's this one here. And it's like, oops, it looks like this. And it's really great for like feathers, hair, fur, and even when you like overlap strokes, it adds even more texture, so it's not just like flat. I don't know, I just love the way it looks when you build up strokes. There's some variation in the colors, so that's a favorite. I love that one. Did you know if you tap and hold, like you're undoing, you can tap and hold with 2 fingers and it'll undo like a whole bunch of stuff? There's a fancy tip. Okay, I'm gonna go back to this layer where I have all like my basic animal shapes. And giraffe. They're kind of orangey, I think. Light orange with brown spots in my brain. Giraffe. Reference photos, guys. They're awesome. Yeah. That was not too far off. I like that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to opaque round to draw the shape of the giraffe's head. Obviously, I'm not doing these things to scale because there's like a little zebra. Or like, yeah, it would be like a giant flamingo, I think. So for Facebook, if you're just joining in, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing Z right now because I'm doing them out of order for the Making Art Every Day project where we're going through and doing the whole alphabet. My theme is things my kids like, and I'm gonna print it into a book to give to them. I'm using Mixed Books who we're like partnering with, and they're giving us like a good discount to print our books through there, which I'll show you guys more about the like book making process and ordering process a little bit later once I get mine done and I can order it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing today. All right, so I've got that shape of the giraffe. I'll just add his ears on and his little like horns, I guess they're called. I always want to call them antenna, but that's not right. Yeah, okay, cool. And now I'm going to do similar to what I did for the zebra. I'm going to use this layer that I already have set up as a clipping mask to add this spots.
They're called ossicones.
Ossicones?
Ossicones.
What, the horn things?
Yeah.
Wow.
Ossicone.
Oh, Jeff looked it up. Apparently these things on a giraffe are called ossicones. Here's your fun fact of the day.
A horn-like antler.
Next time somebody talks about giraffes, you can know that they're called ossicones. How funny. All right, and I'm just using, I picked the gritty tilt liner again to do these like spots, and I'm just like drawing them in really rough because I like that kind of sketchy look. And I drew a sketch earlier, so I'm kind of using that as a guide, but I'm kind of also doing my own thing. I don't know. Just kind of making weird little spot shapes. There we go. Okay, cool. And maybe for the, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go back to my layer with the shapes because I want more texture in the shape of the giraffe. So I'm probably gonna add those like brush strokes to it like I added to the flamingo. So I'm gonna turn on Alpha Lock on that layer. I'm gonna select the same color that the shape already is. And I'm gonna we'll use the deep edge brush strokes and see how that looks. I'm just gonna paint in some like painterly brush strokes. They're a little, you can kind of see them if I zoom in. It's really subtle, but it makes like a really nice natural kind of texture. I've even used these brushes to shade too, and they work well for that. They have a nice textured edge. Okay, and then I'm gonna get soft gouache grain. I use this brush a lot for shading. Go a little darker, because I think like they're a little darker on the like top of their head, maybe. Seems like it. And maybe on the nose, like a little orangier. There. Yeah, I think that works. And I might even do this like a little bit darker on the edges. Make my brush bigger. Can't see it a ton, but there. Cool. And then the what are they called? Ossicones? Jeff?
Ossicones.
Ossicones. I'll make those darker too.
Ossicone.
And then I'll add some line. Okay, so that's pretty good. And now I'm gonna add line work to it. So I'm gonna go to this layer that I've been using to do my line work. I'm going to get, I'll do his like mane. I'm gonna go dark for that. And I'll do my gritty toe line. I'll do it kind of like I did for the, what's it called? You guys know, the zebra. Similar kind of a thing. I'll just I have a lot of hair. It's like quick and dirty. Giraffe mane. Scribble it in. And I'm just gonna fill in a little bit more. Actually, what I am gonna do, so I think it would look good, I wanna add like a darker color to it. So I'm gonna add a layer below what I just drew and get like a darker, and then I'm gonna like fill it in a little bit, especially close to the skin. And I'm like way overshooting like where it attaches to the body, but that's okay because I'm gonna erase away all that extra color that I don't need. I use the eraser a lot. It's a really great tool because you don't have to get everything exactly perfect. Okay, there we go. Cool. So now I'm gonna go in and just try and get it close to that. Or you know what I can do? It would be even better. If I select the contents of the shape, select, and then go back to the layer with the mane on it, and then boom. Now it like perfectly matches up. I'll do that on this one too. Look at that. Easy peasy. Work smarter, not harder, right?
Oh, hey, we are live on YouTube now. We're actually going to...
Oh, we're on YouTube too. Man, you guys, we're like live all over the place today. I've never done this before. So hopefully it's, if you're happy and it's going well. Okay, so we got his mane. Let's just like add some detail to the ears, like a light tan color with the same brush. Oh, that looks, I'm gonna go like almost white, I think. And then maybe some like dark hair. I don't know, they seem like they have hair. Or maybe that's just the coloring. I don't know. Maybe the ear just needs to be bigger. Whatever, I'm not gonna worry about it. I think it's good enough. I'm gonna go back to that light color in the history because I missed a spot right there. And then I need some like dark tips, frosted tips. No, dark tips. On the, what were they called? I'm never gonna remember that for like party trivia. Oracles? No. What are the horn things called on a giraffe, Jeff?
Ossicones.
Ossicones. Oracles.
Ossicones.
Ossicones. I'm gonna choose this darker color because one of them has to be behind their head.
A live video ended over here. You must have touched it.
No. Oh, shared a story. Oh, do it again. I think it timed out. Has it been an hour?
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Bummer.
It must have
All
been.
right, well, I'm going on the other channels. Instagram just cut out because I think there's a time limit.
All right, let's go. We're going back onto Insta.
All right, Instagram, you guys are coming back.
And we need to plug in to keep this charged.
Oh, my phones are going to die. I'm such an amateur with this, guys. Let's see.
Yeah.
Giraffe mouth.
I gotta figure that out.
Well,
Okay,
first time for everything.
I gotta figure it out.
All right, there's my giraffe. Yeah, I like it. Pardon my alarm system making all kinds of noise. Okay, so Instagram, welcome back. I guess there's an hour time limit, and we have surpassed it. So this is part 2. We're gonna keep going with these like zoo animal drawings on this alphabet page. Whoops, and I totally shook my camera. Welcome back, welcome back. Okay, so I just finished the giraffe. I think he looks pretty good. I'm gonna move on. What should we do next, guys? How about the monkey? The lion's like the same colors as the giraffe, so let's do the monkey. I'm gonna go to this layer that I've been using to draw all my shapes. Make sure alpha lock is turned off so I can add a new shape. And the brush I'm gonna use is opaque round. That's what I've been using to draw all my shapes. And my monkey color, like a brown. Okay, so this is a very cartoony monkey. So I'm just gonna fill in these shapes. Like just fill them in fully. Got some big ears. And the arms kind of, this is supposed to be like the arm is, or the hand is like curling under. I hope that's how it's coming across. The arms look a little funky. It's like he's hanging off something off the frame. That's the idea there. And then this is like the feet kind of curled under too. That's my idea with that shape. Yeah. And then the tail. Gotta have the tail. There we go. Cool. Got the monkey shape. Welcome back, Instagram, if you're there. Hopefully you guys come back and join me again after it timed out. Okay, so there is the monkey. I'm going to go into the layer with the clipping mask. So I had created this layer as a clipping mask for stuff that I want to draw that within the shape that I've already drawn. Hold on one sec. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to get like a lighter, warmer color maybe for the like tummy part. And the face. All right, we're trying to plug in for power here, so it might get a little shaky. We'll see. Oh yeah, the ears need a little bit there. Cool. There we go. And then I'm gonna do what I did before, where I added that like paint brush stroke texture to the like flat areas of color. So I'm gonna go to this layer first with the brown. I'm gonna select this same brown color. I'm gonna use, I'll use the deep edge brush strokes, and I'm just gonna, nope, I don't have alpha lock turned on. I'm going to turn on alpha lock because I don't want to like draw new strokes. I just want to texture up the shape I already drew. And just kind of like the stroke should follow like the way that the fur would be. They're kind of give the effect of the monkey fur in my head. There we go, that arm. I'm just like doing quick little strokes to get the kind of strokey texture. Let me turn off the sketch so you can kind of see that. So yeah, you can see kind of that strokey texture. And then let's do that to the layer with like the face and the tummy area. Or actually, before I do that, I'm gonna go back to that same color. I'm gonna use Dotty Gouache Grain. I haven't used that one yet today. I'm gonna just add a little bit more texture to it. This gives it a little bit of grain texture, like the texture of the paper. I just thought it might look nice because monkey fur has a lot of texture. I don't know. That's my idea there. Just a little bit. Gonna add just a little bit. It's pretty subtle, but I think it looks kind of cool. All right, so now I'm gonna go to the layer with the like belly and the face. And I'm gonna turn on alpha lock on that. Swipe to the right with 2 fingers. I'm gonna choose that color, the same color. And we'll do deep edge brush strokes. And just kind of paint in some strokes, give it a little bit of texture. And if you like make too many strokes and it looks yucky or you don't like it, you can just paint over it with one continuous strokes, and that really reduces the amount of strokey texture a lot. So I'll show you that one more time. So if I was like, it's too many, it looks too brush strokey, if I just draw with like a heavy hand and cover it all up,
Instagram's back, by the way.
it kind of like just wipes it clean, almost like it's a lot more subtle. But I will do that to this because that was too much. All right, and the ears, just a little bit. Cool. So now we've got some cool texture on that, and we need to add our line work. I'm just going real simple with this monkey. So I'm turning on that sketch layer again. I'm going to this layer that I have been using for my kind of line work, and I'm gonna choose like a dark brown, and the gritty tilt liner. That's what I've been using to do all my line work on this one, and just, I don't know, add some definition. He doesn't really have a shoulder. Maybe that's why that arm looks so weird. Hold on, let me fix that real quick. I'm just realizing why that arm looks really weird, and it's like kind of coming out of his head a little bit, so or this like side of his body.
Steve,
there we go.
Steven on YouTube just said, bought some of your brushes, new to your channel. Thank you for getting me inspired.
Awesome. Thanks, Steven. I'm glad that you're here. And there, that looks better, right?
What iPad case and stand are you using?
Oh, that's a good question. My iPad case, I got it on Amazon. I don't exactly know which one it was. Maybe I'll add that to my FAQ, but I don't love it. So that's maybe why I don't share it. It's just kind of like gray and ugly, but it does the job. And it has a little spot for that pencil to charge. So, you know, it works. But it's like, I would rather have something more fun. But, you know, you get what you get. They just don't have a lot that's like functional and cute right now. So, and then the other question was what? Case and something else?
Oh, case stands.
Oh, the stand. Yeah. So, I don't want to move my iPad too much, but maybe I'll do it because I do want to show you guys this. This is like a stand that's on, it's like got a little kickstand, and it actually has 3 different ones, so you can do it at different heights. I usually use the middle one, but what I have now is better for video, and it's from, what says it on there? Elevation Lab, and it's like heavy. It's heavy duty. So this is what I have on my desk. Let's make sure we're like, are we centered? We're good? Okay. So this is like what I have on my desk when I draw, is this awesome like heavy duty stand, and I really like it a lot. So it doesn't like wiggle or move or anything. It just kind of like holds it sturdy. And so I really like it. But I got that also on Amazon. Elevation Lab, I think it was. I bet you could find it if you Amazon that, but maybe I'll add that to my FAQ as well. All right, so yeah, I'm just adding a little bit of, not a lot, maybe some like, I don't know, finger definition. Does it look like it's, I don't know. It's supposed to look like it's like curling around like that, but it's okay. I'm trying to make these like quick and not spend too much time, even though I've been spending a lot of time on it. You know, monkey feet. Monkey feet. minky feet. I can't spell. Images. Yeah, they're like lighter on the bottom. So I'm gonna go to this layer I used as a clipping mask and maybe like this color. And this, we'll do my soft gouache grain brush. Oops, what's going on? It must not be in the right layer. I have alpha lock turned on. Turn it off.
Someone asked if this is your gouache set.
It is my gouache set. It's my gouache set. I just released an update to like a month ago. I don't know. That looks okay. It's fine. All right, going back to the layer I was doing the line work on. These are like monkey. They kind of look like paws. That's okay. It's fine. You can't like beat yourself up about it too much, especially when you're doing making art every day. You just got to do it. Try stuff. It might not always work. And even then, like, I'm printing this, so I'm going to have it forever. But even still, like, it's okay. I'm a perfectionist, and it's hard to let perfectionism go. But I'm trying to be okay with it. Otherwise, I'd spend forever on everything. Is that what a monkey nose look like? I don't feel like it is. Monkey face. Always look it up if you're not sure. Like, oh, that kind of doesn't look like a monkey.
Izzy GM Petroni asked, are you going to make a video soon on YouTube?
I want to. I definitely have plans to. My life has been absolutely crazy lately. Yeah. We've been doing a lot of stuff around the house. We're having a baby in a couple months, and it's just been absolutely insane. So yes, I'm going to be getting back to making tutorials. I plan to definitely make some before this baby is born for sure. So stay tuned. I have some good ideas about what to do.
Pat over on YouTube asked, what's the best bundle to get for beginners?
You know what? It really depends on what's the best bundle to get for beginners. I don't know if you guys probably can't hear Jeff asking me questions way back there, but what's the best bundle to get for beginners? And it really depends on the kind of art style that you like. I think the artist bundle is really popular, which has like the Gouache Paintbox. It's got like some of my markers. And if you like more of a painterly look, like you want to go with something like the Gouache Paintbox, it really depends on the kind of style that you're drawn to. But that one's definitely a popular one. I also have one called the Starter Bundle, which is like some of the most popular sets. But I would look at some of the artwork that's been created with the brushes and see what you like. That's my advice. All right, there's my monkey. He's pretty cute, yeah? There he is. I like him. Okay, so I'm done with the monkey. I got 2 more to do and the lettering. Let's go with the gecko. I want him to be green. I'm gonna go back to this layer. I have all my animal shapes, basic shapes on.
Julia just asked a wonderful question. What artists have inspired you that led you to the style you use now?
Oh man, that's a good question. Lots of them. Well, I mean, one of my favorite artists is Mary Blair. She was a Disney artist, like back in the 50s, like a long time ago, 50s, 60s. She designed It's a Small World, like all that. And I just love her style. Like she did all her work in gouache pretty much. So like her artwork definitely inspired this set in particular. In fact, like one of the pieces I was working on today for this book is this one. It's a Small World. I is for It's a Small World. I just love it so much. My kid's room is kind of like designed around a piece of artwork by Mary Blair, and like it's geometric, bold, and like stylized. I just love everything about it. So she's definitely a big influence on me. And there are lots of contemporary artists that inspire me. Like I am on Instagram a lot, following different artists. So I could probably share some of my favorites in like a post or something, because I definitely get a lot of inspiration. One of my favorite like contemporary gouache artists, her Instagram is like Hey Nelly. I forget her last name. Hand me that tiger picture. I just bought one of her original gouache paintings.
Where is it?
It's the tiger with the frame. It's under those dresses. Our office is a little messy. We just had like a birthday party for my daughter on this weekend, so you know how when you have parties, everything moves to like, look at this. Oh, Nellie Lee. Look at the like, oh, sorry, we have two cameras here. But it's so cute. And like, I love all the like gouache texture. I just love her pieces a lot. And there's another one, Loris. Oh, geez. I can't remember the names. Like, I know the art so well, but the names often, Loris, I forget. I feel bad. I don't want to mess up the names. So I'll have to share a post of like some of my favorite artists that I really like. But I like that style. It's like simple. Like I love just art, illustration particularly like that. Just looks effortless. And I've learned over like, you know, as I develop my style that it is not effortless. Like it just seems like they just made a few strokes and then it's just like, wow. And it seems so easy, like effortless, you know, but it takes a lot to get there. So that's like what I've been working on. That's what we're all working on, to get to that point where it just flows out of you and it just looks good. If like it looks in your head, you know? So yeah. Let me see. I want a green gecko. I'm trying to like figure out what the coloring looks like on these little guys.
Izzy from YouTube was asking, what tool do you use for sketching?
Izzy is asking about sketching, and it varies. Like if I try to include some kind of a sketching tool in all of my brush sets. Right now I'm using Gouache Paintbox, and I have the light pencil, which is the one at the top, and that's the one I use to sketch with when I'm using this set. Some of the other ones also do come with some kind of a sketcher, but if not, then I'll use a pencil brush, probably from my pencil box set. I have a set of pencil brushes, and that's the Bardo pencil, like it's just the first one. I'll use that one to sketch with, but usually it's just some kind of pencil. It's just easier to sketch with and get that kind of loose, sketchy look. Yeah, I know Procreate has some pretty nice pencils built in as well, especially with the Procreate 5 update. What was it doing? I don't know. Looking at for color. Trying to get like a picture of them on their back, but I don't know. All right, well, looking at these pictures though, I am gonna get a little bit of a cooler green, and I'm just gonna add some texture right on that layer. So I'm gonna turn on Alpha Lock and soft gouache grain. We'll try that one. Yeah, there we go. So they have like kind of this like spotty texture. So I'm just gonna kind of add that all over, because this grain brush has kind of a spotty, I don't know, texture to it. And then I'm gonna go in with a lighter green on the edges, because around the belly maybe. I don't know, kind of making it up as I go. And it looks like some of them have this like stripes on them, like little orange stripes. So I'll do that on this other layer. Kind of like a reddish orange maybe. And I will use, I want to try the brushstroke brush. Sometimes I use that just as like, not to make brush strokes, but to make strokes, just little marks. Cool, so I do that. Overall, like, I kind of want the color of this gecko to be a little, not so lime green, I guess, yellow. So I'm going to select the layer that I had for that shape and go to Hue, Saturation, Brightness in the Adjustments menu. And I'm going to make it a little, I don't know, just not so lime green. I just kind of adjusted the colors a bit to make it a little cooler. And then, I don't know, maybe like a little line kind of down his back in like a darker green. So the thing when you're drawing and not trying to be super realistic is you're making choices. It's all about making choices. You're like, I see like this picture and there's kind of a line going, like it's a shadow going down his back. So like maybe I'll just draw a line down the back and that is, you know, what I'll do. And it kind of gives the impression of detail, but it's not like super detailed, and it's your choice as an artist to choose what you do, what you include, oops, or not. And I'm gonna add maybe some just definition there. See, I'm not on the line work layer. That's okay. I try to like keep all my line work on a separate layer in case I need to go back and erase it or something, but I kind of messed up with this guy. That's okay. That's all right. The eyes, maybe they're kind of right there. And then, ooh. Let's try that again. My thing is frozen. There we go. And then I'll add a little, maybe orange mark on his face. Yeah, that works. Not trying to go too crazy with it. Because I have one more to do. And this is the last. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm just drawing. Okay. And then the head looks like it's like not really connected very well in my sketch. So I'm gonna move it. Just gonna select it. This is, I'm on the sketch layer and there. Maybe I'll make it bigger. Okay, so I drew the body. This part's gonna be covered up by the mane, but I'm gonna draw the face first. So I'll use this layer, which is like, I use that for like the giraffe mane. I like to reuse layers if I can, if they aren't like touching each other. All right, we got that. And now in between, I'll do this one that I've been using for all the animal shapes and kind of make like a red-headed lion. I'm doing like a cartoony, like a painterly brushstroke texture, which